The dinner rush at the Stag's Head wasn't a meal, it was a trial by fire, and Justin was already burned out. Owner Harold Keene barked at every server from behind the bar, his voice a whip crack over the clatter.
Just get through the shift. Just get through without breaking.
Then a woman in a powder blue dress stepped inside, moving with the kind of confidence that didn't need an invitation.
Welcome to the Stag's Head. I'm Justin. I'll be looking after you tonight.
You don't remember me, do you? I waited these tables 10 years ago.
Justin froze. He had served 1,000 tables here and had never seen her before. She tucked 3 crisp hundreds into the check presenter. Triple the $100 bill.
$300. That can't be right.
She was gone, but her words stuck to the inside of his skull. I waited these tables too. The next morning, Justin sat on the edge of his bed, adding up numbers that never seemed to reach high enough, even with last night's triple tip. His savings couldn't cover the overdue rent and the stack of medical bills on the nightstand.
Something's off. That tip log doesn't match the cash in my pocket.
You've been staring at that sheet for 10 minutes. You okay?
Lily, does your payout ever feel light? Like someone took a cut before it got to you?
Harold's little administrative fee. Everyone knows. Nobody says anything.
Just then, Harold passed behind them, slapping Justin's shoulder a little too hard.
Still here, Justin. Good. I was starting to think you might be too tired to keep up.
He's daring me to say something, and I just found proof.
After closing, Justin lingered near the office, watching Harold count the night's cash through a crack in the door. The next night, the woman in powder blue returned, asking specifically for Justin's section.
She's back, and she wanted my section specifically. This isn't random.
I'll have the salmon. And tell me, Justin, are the staff treated fairly here? Do they feel respected?
We're treated fine. It's a job. I don't have any complaints.
She studied him a long moment, her expression making it clear she didn't buy a word of it. As he passed the kitchen, he noticed a framed photograph on the wall, a young woman in a server's apron cutting a ribbon.
That could be her. Younger, but those eyes. What is her picture doing here?
His gaze lingered too long. A plate slipped, and he barely caught it before it shattered.
Careful now, Justin. Wouldn't want an accident on your hands.
The rest of his shift, that photograph gnawed at the back of his mind, a question mark he couldn't shake. After the last customer left, Justin stood in front of the wall near the kitchen, staring at that photograph. Next to it hung a yellowed newspaper clipping, its headline still bold: "Local girl Margaret Vance opens the Stag's Head."
Margaret Vance, founder. And she's been sitting in my section all week.
He found Lily closing out the bar and pulled her aside.
Lily, that photo by the kitchen, the young woman cutting the ribbon. Does the founder ever come in?
Margaret Vance? Nobody's seen her in years. Harold says she moved away and forgot this place.
She hasn't forgotten anything. She's here watching.
He nearly told Lily everything, but something held him back. If this was a test, he needed to keep his head down.
I'll wait. I'll see what she does next. She tipped me triple for a reason.
He went home that night with a new weight in his chest, the kind that comes from carrying a secret that could change everything. The next evening, she walked in like she owned the place, because, in a way, she did.
There she is, the founder, and I have to pretend I don't know.
I noticed that old photograph by the kitchen. The young woman cutting the ribbon. You ever wonder who she is?
Just some local story. People don't talk about her much.
And tips? Do you see your full share, or does some vanish before it reaches you?
I get what I earn.
She held his gaze for an uncomfortable beat, then simply nodded, not fooled in the slightest. Before she left, she pressed 3 more $100 bills into his palm, her fingers cold and deliberate.
Again, she's trying to tell me something, but I just lied to her face.
The cash felt heavier than before, each bill a small accusation he couldn't fold away. Late that night, Justin opened the shift's tip log and photographed every page, his hand trembling.
Look at these numbers, Lily. For 3 weeks, I am short exactly 15%.
Before Lily could answer, the office door swung open. Harold stood there, his smile thin as a blade.
I hope I am not interrupting a private staff meeting.
I need to say something, but the words won't come.
Just going over tonight's covers, Harold.
Good. Some people around here need to remember who signs their checks. Loyalty goes a long way. Disloyalty goes out the door.
He knows we're on to him.
After Harold left, Justin shoved the photos deep into his pocket. But it didn't make the evidence feel any safer. He considered walking out and never coming back. But then the thought of Margaret's quiet test rose up, and he stayed. Later that night, after the last customer left, Justin walked to his car and found Margaret waiting in the shadows.
She waited for me all night.
I've been watching the staff, Justin. I know the owner is pocketing a cut of your tips. Now I need you to tell me the truth. Are you getting what you earned? Yes or no?
She's forcing me to choose, lie again or trust her with everything. Number. For weeks, I've been short. 15%, every shift.
Thank you for telling me. I knew you were the one to ask. That took real courage.
She reached into her purse and held out a plain white business card with just a phone number.
Keep this. I'll be in touch very soon, and things are going to change.
He drove home with the card burning a hole in his pocket, the weight of an unspoken alliance settling over him. A few days later, before the dinner rush, Justin saw Margaret walk straight into Harold's office without a backward glance.
She didn't even look at me. She went right to him. She gave me her card and promised change. Now she's in there, laughing with the man stealing from us.
Maybe she's gathering evidence. You don't know what's happening behind that door.
Or maybe I was just another piece on her board, and she's done with me.
On his break, he pulled out a piece of paper and wrote 2 words. I quit. But he folded the note and shoved it into his pocket, unable to let go of the sliver of hope she'd sparked.
I can't quit. Not until I know what she's really doing.
He finished his shift in a haze, every ring of the doorbell making him flinch. That night, he sat in his car and stared at Margaret's card until the ink blurred. The next morning, Justin opened his locker and froze. A thick envelope sat on his folded apron, heavier than it should be. He tore it open. Cash and a note, written in careful script. You are not alone. Trust the process.
Lily, look at this. An envelope full of money and a note. It has to be from her, Margaret.
I told you. She's been watching and planning. She didn't forget about us.
I was a breath away from walking out. Now, I have to see this through.
Everyone, listen up. Mandatory meeting tomorrow, right after closing. Don't even think about skipping.
This meeting he just announced. It's Margaret making her move, isn't it?
Has to be. Harold never calls meetings unless someone forces his hand.
That night, Justin held the note next to Margaret's business card. The handwriting was identical, each loop and slant a promise. The entire staff stood in restless clusters, the air thick with tension as they waited for the doors to open.
My name is Margaret Vance. I founded this restaurant more than a decade ago, and tonight I am taking it back. For weeks I've been watching, and I have proof that Harold Keene has been stealing from every one of you.
This is outrageous. You can't just barge in here with lies and expect anyone to believe you.
The records don't lie, Harold. 15% off every check, right into your private account. I am purchasing the restaurant this evening. Your employment here is terminated, effective immediately.
2 security guards stepped forward on cue, gripping Harold's arms as he struggled and spat accusations.
You'll regret this. I'll sue every one of you. This is my place.
This place was built on hard work and fairness, and I intend to restore that. Every single one of you keeps your job.
She did it. She actually did it. And I am still standing here.
The room erupted, half cheers, half sobs as the weight of years of skimming finally lifted. After the cheers faded, staff began trickling out. But Justin lingered, and Margaret called him Sling Phoenix naturally, and Margaret called him to a quiet corner table.
Justin, stay a moment. I need to speak with you alone.
This is the moment. She's finally going to explain.
When you told me the truth that night, you proved you are the kind of person I need. But I need to be certain. I am asking you to lead the training and tip audits. Will you do it?
Yes. Whatever it takes, I'll do it.
Good. You'll oversee every server, track the tip reports, and ensure everyone gets what they're owed.
This is more than I ever expected. It's a chance to prove myself.
She warned him that Harold still had friends and would likely try to strike back. Staying meant becoming a target. He walked out with a new sense of purpose. But the weight of what she'd asked sat heavy on his shoulders. The next morning, Justin arrived to find an official notice pinned to the restaurant's front door. Liquor. License suspended effective immediately, pending investigation.
Harold did this. He still has friends on the liquor board.
This is your test, Justin. Fix it and prove you are the leader I think you are.
She's putting the entire restaurant's survival in my hands.
Justin gathered the staff and spent hours on the phone with the liquor board and city officials. He started a petition for community support and emptied half his savings to cover the appeal fee. Across the street, Harold watched from his car, a thin smirk on his face as two cronies laughed beside him.
He won't break us. Not after everything we fought for.
The restaurant's fate now hung on a single appeal, and everyone knew the fight was only beginning. In the empty dining room, Justin rehearsed his speech, voice echoing against the polished wood.
Justin, I've got over 200 signatures. Everyone's behind you.
200 people believe in us. That has to count for something.
From the kitchen doorway, Margaret watched, a quiet nod of approval softening her features. At the preliminary hearing, Justin stood before the liquor board, petition in hand.
This restaurant is the heart of our community. We're asking for a chance to prove it.
Harold's lawyer argued for delay, but the board agreed to reconsider, a small victory, but the final decision loomed weeks away. To cover mounting costs, Justin worked extra shifts, his white shirt now a uniform of exhaustion.
We've had donations from loyal customers. Even the mail carrier dropped $20 in the jar.
Justin tucked a faded photo of the restaurant's opening day into his pocket, a reminder of what they were fighting for. Just as the lunch rush began, a health inspector walked through the front door, clipboard in hand.
Good afternoon. I'd be glad to show you around the kitchen.
He led the inspector through the kitchen, pointing out the sanitation logs and temperature checks. The inspector opened every refrigerator, checked under every station, and found nothing out of order. Before leaving, the inspector admitted he'd received an anonymous tip, but the kitchen was spotless.
It was Harold. The inspector said the tip came from someone calling himself a concerned citizen.
He'll try again. He's counting on wearing us down. Stay sharp, Justin.
We survived this round. But for how long can we keep dodging his attacks?
Justin finished his shift on autopilot, every muscle aching from the tension he'd been holding. He crawled into bed that night, too exhausted to even take off his shoes, a single thought echoing, "This place is worth every bruise." The next afternoon, Margaret called him into the small office that still smelled of Harold's cheap cologne.
Sit down, Justin. I want to show you something.
She pulled a dusty shoebox from under the desk and opened it. Inside were old menus, photographs, and a worn apron.
This was my first menu. I wrote it by hand the night before we opened. I started just like you, a server with nothing but calloused hands and a prayer. When I sold this place years ago, I thought I was leaving it in good hands. I was wrong.
She's trusting me with her whole history. This isn't just a job anymore.
Seeing you fight for it now, it means more to me than you'll ever know.
She reached across the table and squeezed his hand, a simple gesture that sealed an unspoken pact.
I won't let you down, Margaret. This place is worth everything.
The day of the final hearing, Justin stood before the liquor board, face pale but voice steady.
The Stag's Head isn't just a restaurant. It's where families celebrate, where servers become family, where our town gathers.
He laid down the petition, the safety records, and a sworn statement from every staff member. Harold's lawyer objected, but even he couldn't argue against the weight of the community's support. After a tense deliberation, the board chairman announced, "License reinstated, effective immediately." Outside, Lily and the staff erupted into cheers. Harold watched from his car, face twisted, before driving away.
Well done. I knew you could do it.
We won. We actually won.
That night, the restaurant reopened. Every table full, the the clink of glasses a victory song. Justin stood at the bar, watching the room, feeling the first real peace in weeks. But he knew Margaret's final verdict still waited. After the last customer left, Margaret motioned for Justin to join her at a corner table.
Do you remember that first night? $300 bills on the check.
I'll never forget that night. That tip changed everything.
It was a test. I wanted to see if you'd pocket it quietly or bring it to Harold. You reported it, even knowing he'd steal his cut. That told me everything I needed to know.
Justin's throat tightened. He hadn't realized how much that single choice had been observed.
And you treated me like a person, not just a name on a reservation. I've been searching for someone with integrity to take over the floor. That someone is you. Would you be willing to be my manager?
Justin sat frozen, the weight of the question pressing him into the chair.
Yes. I want this job. I want to help you build this place.
Margaret slid a single sheet of paper across the polished wood. A manager's contract with a small ownership share.
Manager, salary, and a piece of this place to call my own.
He signed his name with an unsteady hand, the pen scratching the paper like a promise. Margaret extended her hand, her smile breaking through the formal moment. Suddenly, the door burst open, and Lily led the staff in, their cheers filling the empty room.
We heard. Congratulations, boss.
Justin laughed, pulled into a tangle of hugs and backslaps, the weight of the past weeks finally lifting.
This is where I am supposed to be. After all this, I finally belong.
Margaret stood back, watching the scene she'd orchestrated, her eyes glistening with quiet pride. The next day, Justin called his first staff meeting as manager, a clipboard in his hand and a new confidence in his stance.
Starting today, tip reporting is transparent. Every dollar is tracked, and every server gets exactly what they earn. Lily, you've been the heart of this floor. I am naming you lead server, effective immediately.
Finally. Someone who rewards hard work instead of favorites.
We treat everyone here with respect, staff and customers alike. That's what Margaret taught me.
From the kitchen doorway, Margaret watched, her arms folded, and a tear tracing the edge of her smile. The staff applauded, and the dinner rush began with a rhythm they hadn't felt in years.
This is what fairness feels like. No more skimming, no more fear.
By the end of the night, the tip reports matched perfectly, and the staff left with heavier wallets and lighter hearts.
Margaret was right. The way you treat a stranger tells them everything.
A week later, a court summons arrived. Harold was suing for wrongful termination, claiming fabricated evidence.
He's claiming I made it all up, but I have every receipt, every log, the photos of the tip reports.
The judge barely glanced at the stack of records before dismissing the case. Harold's last gambit collapsed in minutes.
All those photos and records you kept, that's what buried him. You were preparing for this without even knowing it.
I was just trying to survive, but now it's finally over.
Outside the courthouse, Harold stormed past reporters, his face a mask of fury, as Margaret and Justin watched from the sidewalk.
It's over.
For good.
They walked back to the restaurant in silence, the last shadow of the past finally burned away. That evening, the restaurant hummed with its usual dinner crowd, and Harold's name was never spoken again. Weeks later, in the calm before the dinner rush, Lily held up a new framed photograph she'd been hiding behind her back.
Everyone, look. The new photo of our official grand reopening. Justin and Margaret shaking hands.
She hung it on the wall next to the old founder's photo, the two eras, now side by side.
That old photo used to be a mystery. Now I know the whole story behind it.
Justin touched the frame of the old photograph, the glass cool under his fingers.
Now you are part of this place forever.
The staff gathered around, pulling each other close for a group picture.
This is my family now, the one I found here.
Just then, the bell above the front door chimed, and the first customers of the evening stepped inside. Justin turned, ready to greet them, the same way he had greeted a stranger in a powder blue dress what felt like a lifetime ago. Months later, Justin led the pre-shift meeting with the ease of someone who had earned every nod of respect.
Friday, reservations are full. Lily, you've got the big party in the back. Everyone else, keep it smooth.
Servers nodded, a quiet trust in the room that hadn't existed under the old name. Later that evening, Justin spotted Margaret in her usual corner booth, a single glass of wine, and a fond smile.
Your usual?
You know it?
He stood for a moment, watching the full dining room, a place he once served, now his home. The clink of glasses and hum of conversation filled the air, a sound that meant everything was as it should be.
This is what I almost walked away from. This is worth everything.
The stag's head glowed warm against the night, its story still being written by the ones who served it best.